The Little Flower or the Saint of Roses, this young French nun left an extraordinary legacy of love, simplicity, and devotion. She entered the convent of the Discalced Carmelites at the age of 15, seeking a life dedicated to prayer and service to God. Here are 8 curious facts about Saint Therese of the Child Jesus. 8. Saint Therese of the Child Jesus. Saint Therese of the Child Jesus, also known as Saint Thérèse of Lisieux, was a Carmelite nun and doctor of the Catholic Church. She was born in Alsace, France, on January 2, 1873, the daughter of Louis Martin Israel Guerra and Zélie Guérin. From her childhood, Therese demonstrated a profound love for God and a burning desire to consecrate herself to Him. Her father, Louis, initially desired to become a monk, while Therese, still very young, expressed the wish to join the Daughters of Charity of Saint Vincent Delaware Paul. However, this path did not materialize due to her tender age. At the age of 15, Therese entered the monastery of the Discalced Carmelites in Lisieux. She lived a simple life dedicated to prayer and service to others. Therese became known for her little way of spirituality, an approach of simplicity and humility in the pursuit of holiness. She believed that it was not necessary to perform great deeds to please God but rather to carry out the small actions of daily life with love and devotion. Saint Therese wrote her autobiography, Story of a Soul, which became a classic of Catholic spirituality. Her ideas and teachings on simplicity in faith and total trust in God have influenced many believers over the years. 7. Marriage of Louis and Teresa. The marriage of Louis Martin Israel Guerra and Teresa Guérin, parents of Saint Therese of the Child Jesus, is marked by notable characteristics of devotion and self-denial. They were married in July 1858, in a union that would be blessed with 9 children over the years. A distinctive feature of the couple was the decision to live in perpetual abstinence, a choice that reflects a commitment to spiritual life and a respect for the sanctity of marriage. This decision was made with the guidance of the local vicar, demonstrating the importance of religious guidance in their lives. Throughout their marriage, Louis and Teresa were blessed with 9 children, born between 1860 and 1873. Unfortunately, the family faced the sadness of loss, as 4 of the children passed away shortly after birth. These experiences of grief may have influenced the spirituality and approach of their surviving children, including Saint Therese, in relation to faith and life. 6. Childhood and Vocations. The childhood and vocations of Saint Therese of the Child Jesus are marked by fragile health and an education deeply rooted in the Catholic faith. Teresa Martin, as she was baptized, was born with delicate health, which significantly influenced her life journey. From a very young age, Teresa was raised in a Catholic environment where religious practices were an integral part of her daily routine. Her family regularly attended Mass and cultivated values of charity and love for others. This strong education in the Catholic faith played a crucial role in Teresa's spiritual formation. At the age of 4, Teresa faced the painful loss of her mother. After this event, she developed a special bond with her sister Pauline, considering her as a second mother. Pauline's loving presence had a significant impact on Teresa's life, providing emotional and spiritual support during her childhood years. At the age of 9, Teresa witnessed another significant change in her life when Pauline decided to enter the Carmel, a contemplative religious order. This decision had a profound impact on Teresa, who began to consider religious life as a possibility for herself. Pauline's positive influence triggered the flourishing of Teresa's religious vocation. 5. Healing and religious vocation. The life of Saint Therese of the Child Jesus was marked by notable events, including a mysterious healing experience and a steadfast determination to pursue her religious vocation. Teresa faced a mysterious illness that afflicted her in her youth. However, a significant event occurred in May 1883 when an image of Our Lady of Victories was placed in her room. According to her accounts, Teresa experienced a miraculous healing after this event, interpreted as a divine intervention. This experience further strengthened her religious devotion and her trust in divine providence. At the age of 14, Teresa made a crucial decision regarding her religious vocation. Inspired by her family's faith and influenced by spiritual experiences, she chose to enter the Carmel, a contemplative religious order. Her choice was not without challenges, as she faced initial difficulties in being accepted into the convent due to her age. However, her determination and perseverance allowed her to overcome these obstacles. Teresa entered the monastery of the Discalced Carmelites in Lisieux at the age of 15. Her monastic life was characterized by a total surrender to God, living according to the principles of the Little Way, a spiritual approach that emphasizes simplicity and humility in daily actions. 4. Theology of Saint Therese. The theology of Saint Therese of the Child Jesus is characterized by a simple and profound approach that focuses on small daily sacrifices, known as the Little Way. This theology was developed from her spiritual experience and reflections on everyday life. Saint Therese believed that small actions performed out of love for Christ held immense value in the eyes of God. She saw life as a continuous opportunity to offer sacrifices, even in the simplest tasks and most common situations. This perspective had its roots in her understanding of God's merciful love, which accepts the humblest offerings made with a pure heart. The little way, proposed by Saint Therese, is a response to her conviction that holiness does not require great heroic deeds but rather the constant practice of love in small things. This theological approach has influenced many believers and inspired a more accessible and applicable understanding of the pursuit of holiness. Although Therese initially felt the desire to become a missionary, her vocation led her to the Carmel, where she became a contemplative nun. Despite this, she maintained her desire to contribute to the Church's mission in a unique way. Therese saw herself as an intercessor for missionary vocations, believing that her prayers and sacrifices could support those actively involved in missionary work around the world. 3. Final years and canonization. The last years of Saint Therese of the Child Jesus' life were marked by her courageous battle against tuberculosis, an illness that afflicted her for almost 3 years. During this period of physical suffering, Therese maintained an attitude of acceptance, viewing the illness as an integral part of her spiritual journey. She lived her final days with serenity, trusting in God and offering her sufferings as a form of union with Christ. Saint Therese passed away on September 30, 1897, at the young age of 24. Her premature death did not diminish the influence of her life and teachings, which continued to spread and inspire millions of people around the world. In recognition of her holiness and significant contribution to Catholic spirituality, Saint Therese was canonized by Pope Pius XI in 1925. This canonization highlighted her sanctity and the importance of her little way as an accessible path to holiness for all believers. Furthermore, in 1997, on the occasion of the centenary of her death, Pope John Paul II proclaimed Saint Therese of the Child Jesus a Doctor of the Church. This designation is reserved for individuals whose exceptional teaching and spiritual impact deserve formal recognition by the Catholic Church. Saint Therese is known as the Doctor of Spiritual Childhood due to her simple and profound approach to faith. Her body remains preserved and is in a glass reliquary at the Basilica of Saint Therese in Lisieux, France. 2. Parents of Saint Therese. The parents of Saint Therese of the Child Jesus, Louis Martin Israel Guerra and Teresa Guerin, were canonized on October 18, 2015, by Pope Francis. The canonization of the couple is noteworthy as it marks the first time in the history of the Catholic Church that a couple has been canonized together as saints. This underscores the importance of their exemplary lives and unwavering commitment to faith and the will of God. Louis and Teresa are considered saints not only for being the parents of one of the most well-known and beloved saints, Saint Therese, but also for their own dedication to God's will in every circumstance of their lives. Their lives reflected Christian principles of love, service, and trust in God. Their marital union and the education they provided to their children are recognized as concrete expressions of the call to holiness in the domestic environment. Pope Francis, in canonizing them, emphasized that the couple lived a life of Christian virtue, serving as an example for other families. By elevating Louis and Teresa to the honors of the altar, the Catholic Church acknowledges the inspiring testimony of a couple who, amidst the joys and challenges of family life, persevered in following the teachings of Christ. 1. Origin of the Novena of Roses. The origin of the Novena of Roses is associated with an extraordinary experience lived by Father Anthony Poutengon, who initiated this practice in honor of Saint Therese of the Child Jesus. Father Anthony Poutengon was going through a period of trial and doubt in his spiritual life. In search of guidance and divine assistance, he decided to start a novena in honor of Saint Therese, known for her powerful intercessions and the endearing title of the Little Flower. During the novena, Father Anthony Poutengon made a special petition, asking for a sign that his prayers and spiritual needs would be answered. The response to this prayer came in an unexpected and symbolic way. During 2 consecutive novenas, Father Anthony Poutengon received roses as a clear sign of Saint Therese's intercession. These roses were seen as a tangible manifestation of Saint Therese's love and attention in response to the priest's prayers. Inspired by this experience, Father Anthony Poutengon spread the novena in honor of Saint Therese, inviting others to join him in devotion to the saint. The Novena of Roses began to be celebrated from the 9th to the 17th of each month, with the final day coinciding with the liturgical feast of Saint Therese on October 1st. We've reached the end of this inspiring story about Saint Therese of the Child Jesus. I hope you enjoyed this tale. See you in the next story.